Injury boost for Manchester United as a fully fit squad is on the horizon. Ten Hag gives an update on injuries, but interestingly, another update on Nypan to Manchester United coming out. Could there be a January deal there? There was talks in the summer that when he turns 18 in January, United will battle Arsenal for his move, and the player is a United fan. Martial has found the club. Overy and Lusale have gone on social media to confirm their moves to Manchester United. Very exciting times. Ten Hag speaks on Antony, what he needs to do to get back in the starting 11. We reported earlier that, Ten Hag sort of spoke about Antony and attitude. He's expanded on those comments, so we're going to get into what else he said on Antony, because we've got a bit more context on the situation. And then what is Man United starting 11 versus Barnsley? Because a couple of starting players have been confirmed, like Bay and Diaz. So guys, please do hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks if you're new. But on that final road to 100,000 subscribers, we're on 92.9k, so very close to 93k. So please do subscribe if you're new, and let's get into the video. So what is the latest in regards to injuries? So United Truthful's done us all a favour here and, contextualise the news. Mount is back in first team training, so he's expected back soon. Hojlund is in contention for the weekend. So Mount and Hojlund are in contention for the weekend. Ligt and Malacia soon. They're actually expected back, I believe, before the next international break. They're on the way. Maybe Malacia will take a bit longer because of how long he's been out. Yoro is expected back after the international break in November. We could have a full squad soon. Now it's Manchester United. We'll probably pick up a few knocks and stuff. But we also got positive news to say that Ligt, Martinez and Mazraoui are all good. It's just cramp. They will be available to play versus Barnsley, although I do want to see a weakened team versus Barnsley. So if I'm going to be totally honest, I'd rather rest them, save them for Crystal Palace, because the league game matters. And our under-21s beat Barnsley, so I'd like to see a youthful approach from Ten Hag, and we will talk about that at the end of the video. Ten Hag said on Luke Shaw, he's progressing well, but not ready to be selected. He's progressing well. We have a plan for when he might be ready, but progress depends on various factors, and plans can be changed on how things develop. He's basically all load of waffle. Shaw's progressing well. He should be back soon, is basically what he's saying. So let's get into the Nypan news. Could Manchester United be making a January move for Nypan? Manchester United and Leverkusen were at this something stadion that I'm not going to try and pronounce on Sunday for the match between Lille and Rosenborg, probably to watch Nypan. So United once again with Leverkusen scouting Nypan. We know that we played Rosenborg in pre-season. We were scouting Nypan. We was first linked to Nypan a year ago. We've been scouting this guy for a year, and a lot of players that Man United signed, they've been watching for a year with the scouts before they signed them, and Nypan is that case. Now, if we go back to some news that was said back in August by CM. We'll get into this story here. This was said back in August, remember. Manchester United is still interested in Nypan. The player himself is a United fan, but Arsenal wants to enter the race. No deal is possible for the January window. So he was also linked to us back in April. He was also linked to us back in March. He's been linked to us a couple of times by decent sources, and we know that United scouts are there and around. Now, he's a player that Arsenal have also had a look at. They see him as the next Martin Odegaard. We see him as our sort of next big attacking midfielder. Some talks saying, should we get him because we've got Shea Lacey? I think you just don't know what's going to happen with Shea Lacey and his injuries. We should go for Nypan. The more the merrier at that age, because you just can't predict how the year's going to go. But here's a bit of information on Nypan. I think it's definitely one to watch for January. I said in summer, I think we'll make a move for Nypan in January. And I think, maybe we don't, but I think Ineos have got money there for January. They want to make moves in January, and I think this is really one to watch. But Nypan, 2006, player worth getting to know over the next few years. Midfielder had a hat-trick last night. This was obviously said in August. He's now won 10 goal contributions in 18 matches for Rosenborg as of this tweet in August. Man United are among teams tracking his progress. So got decent output because he normally plays as a number 8. Sometimes plays as a number 10, has sometimes played on the wing. I believe he now has 11 goal contributions in 20 games this season since that post. These were his statistics as of August as well. So pretty decent statistics. And he's played as a centre-forward, attacking midfielder and a centre-mid. So he can play anywhere centrally. I think he's probably a number 10, number 8 Odegaard type player, but he's even played as centre-forward and seems to be a good young player. I was really impressed when we played Rosenborg in pre-season by him. And I think he's one I'd have to do a bit more research on. But he looks good at the ball. He looks comfortable. He looks like he's going to make something happen. He looks like a talent. Also, just other news, a bit random, but AEK Athens have reached a verbal agreement to sign Martial. I mean, Martial probably thought he could get a better club. It's not a bad club to go to. I think with Martial, he just sort of just said, yeah, screw Man United second half of the season. I'm going to get back fit for my next club. And, unfortunately, that's what a lot of players do in their final year of their contract. They think, you know what, they want to get fully fit for the next club and they'll just take advantage of the United wages for a year. And I wish Martial the best. I remember the NHS Martial era, lockdown, Martial, Greenwood, Rashford, that front three with Bruno just coming into the club. There was 2 unreal seasons we had under Martial that, I loved, but yeah. He needed to go, injury prone, breadstick legs, and is what it is. But let's talk about the 2 new additions. Obviously, spoke about this the other day. It's now been confirmed on Instagram by both Lusale and Overy. Manchester United new signing Lusale bids farewell to Palace after United received approval following Premier League. He said, "My journey with Crystal Palace comes to the end. A new door opens. I will always remember the memories I made at Palace, and without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. But now we move on to the next chapter." That's what he said. James Overy has all but confirmed his move to Manchester United by changing his Instagram bio to Manchester United in details. And Lusale is a really dynamic, quick, pacey winger, very direct, likes to make an impact, ticks a lot of Ten Hag's boxes. Apparently, is just as good of a talent as Obi Martin and a very underrated player. And then then Overy apparently is a very good attacking-minded fullback, plays at right back, sort of a right back version of Harry Amas as well. So 2 really good talents coming in to Manchester United. Let's talk about Antony and the news coming out of Antony. Ten Hag said this: Antony has to bounce back. He has the ability to do it. If he does what he needs to do, he can compete with Ahmad and Garnacho. He's fighting for his place. This is what I expect from every United player. The other players are doing well. We have Ahmad, Garnacho, who are effective. Rashford scored at the weekend. Antony has to perform in training, but the others are doing very well, so he has to get ahead of them. He said Antony wants to play and fight for it. So we obviously got the comments yesterday that Ten Hag said that Antony's got to show the right. And Ten Hag expands on that, saying, Ahmad and Garnacho are doing well. Rashford scored. Antony's got to show me more in training. Ten Hag is probably suggesting he's not happy with everything he's seen from Antony in training, and obviously when he's seen from Antony on the pitch because it hasn't been good enough. And he's saying Antony will get his chance, but he's got to fight. He's got to put the efforts in training. He's got to do a little bit better in training on the pitch and everything. And because Garnacho and Ahmad are doing so well, it will be difficult for Antony. He's really got to show a level to play, and of course, Antony wants to play. And that makes sense. But guys, I want to get into my lineup ahead of the Barnsley game and what my predicted lineup is. I want you guys to comment down below, who would you line up with? Who would you play? Now, the confirmation is that Bayendir is playing a goal, according to leaks. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Delo will play. I think if the fullback is going to be rested, it's going to be Mazraoui because of his injury recordness and cramp. And I think considering Harry Amas and the under-21s beat Barnsley just a couple of weeks ago, I think Harry Amas has to play at left back. 1, to bring the left-footed dynamic that Shaw will bring to get used to that. But 2, we've only got 2 fullbacks for the next 7 games. So if this is probably the best chance we've got to rest one. Give Harry Amas a go. There was some weak spots in pre-season, but I think, he showed some really good signs in pre-season. Give Harry Amas a go. I'd probably play Maguire, and then I would probably play Evans, I think. I'd probably rest both Ligt and Ligt. You had a really good game versus Southampton, didn't they? I was really impressed with how good Ligt and Ligt versus Southampton were. So I'd probably go with Evans, or do we go with Casemiro? I'd probably say Evans. And I want Agate to start. If I'm going to be totally honest with you, I want Agate to start. For me, it's important he does start. Ooh, sorry, that just cut out there. So, And I actually wouldn't mind seeing Casemiro play further up from Agate. But at the same time, I really want Collier to play. So this is the problem. Do we play Casemiro or do we play Collier? I would like Collier to play, but I think to keep Casemiro happy, Ten Hag will probably play Casemiro. I think it will be Antony. I have no issue with Antony playing because I want Ahmad and Rashford fresh for the Crystal Palace game. Xerxes keeps his place. And then obviously we've got Garnacho. For me, Garnacho, Agate and Amas starting is key. For me, they're the 3 players that I really want to see start because I think Mazraoui needs a rest. All the guys that came off with cramp, give them a rest. Because once we play Mazraoui, he picks up an injury and we could have used Amas. The problem is Amas isn't even getting on the bench for any of the games, which makes me think that Ten Hag's reluctant to use him just yet. He's not even getting on the bench. So I don't know if he will play, but I just think I'd rather just play Amas. He may play bloody Ligt at left back probably, but I would like to see Amas. This is the lineup I'd like to see. I'd probably rather see Collier than Casemiro, but I'm just thinking, I think Ten Hag does normally go stronger in those cup games. But maybe Collier comes on for someone like Agati or something and gets the second half. I would like to see Collier definitely get some minutes as well. But that is definitely probably the lineup that I would go with ahead of the game. Guys, let me know your lineup down below. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Subscribe down below if you're new. Bye.